Okay, Saturday morning in the kingdom, and it's foggy. Yes, it's foggy. I turned the cameras on after I turned on the mini power source to enjoy my morning coffee and check the internet. Yes, check the internet. And the cameras are so foggy you couldn't see anything. And it's a wet fog. Yes, everything is wet and damp and everything. All right, this morning we woke up to plus 13, but on the yo-yo scale, plus 56, the Chevy car that nobody really talks about. And also, too, we're in a heat warning. We're supposed to have our second hot day in a row. Yes, but it's kind of nice. It cools off in the evening. So how would you say? I used up my 2 hours of welder time with the air conditioner running as I cooked supper. Yes, I burned it very well, and the air conditioner kept the house cool. So I went to bed last night with the windows open, and there was a nice breeze. Yes, in the master bedroom. So that worked out good. I got a good night's sleep for an old guy. Yes, up every 2 hours for a pee. And also, too, it's so quiet and calm, and even with the cameras not being able to see, I didn't hear any vehicles leaving WHO-ville. So the hydro crews went home for the weekend. Yes, they took the long weekend off. 4 communities without power, and these bastards took the weekend off. Must be nice, yes, on frickin' real. But the government doesn't care about us. It's just like the post office. The government runs that too, so they don't care about us. All right, so we got the no power for the weekend. So by the time the bastards come back on Tuesday, they'll probably get working by 3. And then they'll have another excuse not to give us power. So they'll make it last forever. It could be Christmas by the time we get power. Yes. All right, so we got that. It's going to be hot. AC, yes, I did it all. Did the list. Yes. So that's what we know. The government doesn't care about us. Nobody cares about us. Yes, we're going to take the weekend off, and the people of WHO-ville can keep on living off grid. Why hook up the power or work hard to hook up the power? They're just going to empty their bank accounts, and then they'll have no money. I know our bank account's getting pretty dry. Yeah, so we have to watch the fuel, and then we don't know when hydro's going to hook us back up. They don't care. Nobody cares. All right, it's going to be a hot day today, so we can't weld on the 69 in the pit because the thought of welding when it's hot. I overdid it yesterday. Oh, see, no, not AI generated. So I overdid it yesterday in the heat, but we got it done. 2 trucks, the trailing arm bushings changed out. That was so slick and smooth. Yes, I watched lots of YouTube videos on that and how people do it in their garage and everything like that. And it seemed like a big struggle. Some people even had to take the trailing arms off and put them in the hydraulic press to push in the bushing and stuff. But I got lucky because we live at the end of the world. Yes, the end of the world, off-grid living. I don't know what we'll do today. Just wander around aimlessly lost to appease the boss. But yesterday we worked so slow, the boss had to speed the cameras up to speed of 2 or 3 to actually make it look like we were doing something. Oh well. Well, I better go. Here he comes. Even on the long weekend, he didn't go south or return home like the hydro guys. Frickin' real.
Saturday morning in Whoville. It's almost 10 a.m. and as you can see, it's pretty foggy out here right now. It's actually supposed to be another hot day, so I don't know what we'll be doing in the kingdom. Now let's head inside and let the dogs out. I already had breakfast at 1 p.m. I'll go up and do some shopping, then go see what my dad's up to.
Okay, lunchtime in the kingdom, and we're in a heat wave warning on the government-run weather station or network or whatever that is. Yeah, it's just like the government-run hydro. Yeah, everybody's not working the weekend. So this morning, if I'd known it'd be this cold and drizzly, I could have come out here, started the welder up, cut the frame rail out that I need, come over here, get the replacement piece, and be done in 2 hours. But it's supposed to be a heat warning. It was supposed to be hot, and there's no way I was going to be welding overhead wearing my leathers. I don't like wearing my leathers outside the bedroom because they're so hot. So I did other things. Yes, we moved trucks around. Yes, we put that one over there and stuff like that. And also, too, it's supposed to be hot today. So I figured I'd work on the grader a bit. So I got the work table behind the grader. Now it's not that warm out here. So we might have to figure out something to do to keep us warm. We might have to go in the shop with the wood stove going on frickin' real. So let's go burn some lunch in the microwave. And I haven't done the welder at all today. So I have 2 hours of two whole free hours of usage to have fun with. I could use it to do anything. And running the air conditioner last night was a godsend. The house was so hot after I burned supper, and then the air conditioner cooled everything down. All right, let's go have some lunch, and then we'll figure out what we're doing this afternoon because it's supposed to be a heat wave.
12 p.m. and I'm just getting ready to make lunch. Today I'll be having Campbell's chunky beef stew, something easy to make on the camp stove. It is supposed to be extra hot out there today, but it's not yet. The sun is starting to come out, so I'm sure it'll warm up. Now let's head inside and make lunch. Almost 1 p.m. and I just finished up lunch and went and did some shopping. I grabbed 8 loaves of bread, some juice, and a few other things. It was about $80, which isn't bad. I went to the other store where we get our milk and a few things from there to try and get some snacks and stuff, and they are closed. Starting yesterday, they are now only open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 12 till 2, and if you need to get a hold of someone after hours, you have to message them and then wait for them to message you back. Not sure why they cut the hours. Maybe the person went out of town, they don't have any other workers, but that kind of sucks. It's also a long weekend right now too, so would have been nice to get some snacks from the other store. Now let's head over to the Kingdom and drop everything off. Made it to the Kingdom and dropped off my dad's juice and bread. As you can see, the black tank is moved now. I can actually drive up into the yard a lot easier and I have a bit more of a view. Not sure why he moved it, but I guess I'll find out when I head down to the shop. The quad here, the brakes are acting up and I didn't have very much brake when I went to the store today, so I'm going to switch out to the other quad that's in the host shack and park this one for now until we can figure out why the brakes are acting up. Just got the quad switched out. This one is actually my quad and I've been driving my dad's only because his has the better tires and mine likes to act up all the time, but I will be using mine for a bit until we can figure out the brakes. Now let's head down to the shop and see what my dad's doing. Made it down to the shop and it looks like my dad found a deck from my house in WHO-ville. The deck I have right now is pretty bad. It came with the house, but it's still doing its job. I've had to put a few boards down, but we are going to be taking this and cutting it. We cannot cut these cross beams here because the whole thing will fall apart. It's pretty much holding it together, but we can cut it right here where my dad measured. And then this side here will be my deck, and we'll use drill steel as legs and a nice little railing, put some steps on it, and I should have a nice deck here. But we're not going to cut it today because my dad will have to turn the welder on and he's trying to save his power for supper tonight and for the AC. It's starting to get pretty hot out here now. Looks like my dad is just going to work on the grader today, so I'll head back into WHO-ville and finish sorting out my berries. I have 1 tub left and then I'm officially done and I can head out and get some more.
Okay, 2 o'clock in the Kingdom, and it's dark in the shop. Yes, it's a good thing we have the ventilation hole over there. I don't know if we can see it. There. I turned the light on. The flashlight. Yes, the flashlight. All right, so the deck of this truck is full of grader parts. Yes, grader parts. They're everywhere, and we're not moving them any more times. Yes, if we move them one more time, I don't know what I'll do. Let's go outside. Okay, the sun's come out and it's getting hot out here. My t-shirt's sweating to me, so the ladies will just love that as I flex my 6-inch bulging biceps. All right, so let's back up to May long weekend. We were working on the grader. Yes, we're working on the grader. Sir Rodney had ordered all the parts and it came in. So the brakes, the seals, everything like that for in here are there. So then May long weekend rolled around. We told Sir Rodney not to ship because Johnny G was taking a week's holiday. So when Johnny G gets back, he can ship it right through and Johnny G will make sure we get the pallet. Yes, because if Johnny G's not there, how would you say, somebody that doesn't know how to do the job or whatever, well, be polite. So whoever doesn't know how to do the job, the pallet could sit somewhere else or go ship anywhere else. So we told Sir Rodney to hold off. And we were working on the grader and the snow truck, and then we got evacuated. Yes, the first time around. Yes, and then we went car camping 4 times. So now we've run out of things to do. We still have no power, as you can see the shop. So now we have to do projects where it doesn't involve, how would you say, fuel or generating power. So I risked it all. Yes, I risked it all. I used the welder for 1 hour. So that means I don't cut down and watching a movie with boobies. Instead of a 2-hour featured flick, we'll be watching a 1-hour featured flick. Yes. All right. So over here, we used the electric impact 1/2-inch drive with the reducer down to the 1.5-inch socket. Like in theory, this should be the 3/4-inch air impact, popping these wheel nuts off. But I never seized them pretty good. We have them set up it this way to get the water to drain out, because you can see the water goes in there. All right, so now we can take this apart and start cleaning. I don't know, we took the top over here. Yes, we did. Can we look inside there? Of course, I didn't bring the flashlight. So we got to clean all this debris, get these covers off, get it so it's cleaned out. and then we can lay everything up on the table. That's the reason why we put the table there, and the chains can go up there. Once they're clean and ready, they can slide off of here and into the casings. Yes, I'm working smarter, not harder. Yes, the boss will be impressed. Well, we better go. Okay, just about coffee time in the kingdom, and we got the pieces off. Yes, the parts are off, and we cleaned this out, I think, in 2017, because it's not that bad in there, but there has been water in. But we knew that when we assembled it, that we want the water to flow through. That's why the drain plugs at the back here were taken off. As soon as I jacked it up, I don't know if you can see that, Les Nessman, but the front is higher than the back, just like on Sesame Street. Can you see the difference? So that drains it out. So we're not going to waste a couple hours flushing this out or anything like that, because we'll have to have air. For us to have air, we got to run the green toy, which is over here. Yes, the joys of living, how would you say, off-grid. Yes, remember the whole community of WHO-ville is off-grid. Well, the hydro guys went home to enjoy the long weekend, the bastards. All right, so the best way to keep it organized, that's why we put the table here. Yes, at my age, we don't want to mix things up. And also, too, the downfall of this here is there's no washers. There are no copper washers. Like on an IH cat, they have a copper washer that holds the valve cover down to keep the moisture out. Well, that doesn't work on here. The moisture goes in. So you putting the big gasket on is pointless. So the water gets in, so you can see that. Also, too, we have to get everything cleaned, prepped, and we're going to find washers for in there because we don't want that expensive oil to say how'd you get oiled. Plus, we got to find 12-volt bolts for this to go on. Everything has to be cleaned and prepped for when the chains go in. When the chain box is clean, the chains are ready to go in. These are ready to go in, and then the staff will come over. We'll have a work bee, and this thing will be done and sealed up and to never be opened ever again. Yes, once upon a time in a faraway land. All right, let's have a quick coffee, and then we can hide in the shop. I think we can run the mini power source with the inverter, enjoy the shop lights and the buffing wheel on the grinder. Yes, the bench grinder, so we can buff all these bolts, buff everything ready so it's nice and clean. So this will be our relaxing Saturday afternoon in the kingdom, working on the 550 Adams grader, known as Gomez, the long-time project. And remember, we stole it from a lodge back in 2009, and we still have it. Oh, this long-term project. Okay, just past 4 o'clock in the kingdom. Yes, all right. So it's nice and not too bad in the shop, but you come out here, it's hot. Yes. So back in 2009, April 2009, when we stole this grader, yes, we went in, it was all frozen. There was water in the chain case here, so these wouldn't turn. The chains wouldn't turn, so we cut them. We cut them right on the roller link, okay, instead of the joiner link. All right, so once we cut it, we took the chains out, and then the wheels would spin freely, and because there's transmission and everything in here, the rear end was full of water, so that wouldn't turn. So this thing was supposed to be a complete operating grader that we stole, but it's actually a piece of junk, and it had been left abandoned for close to 40 years. But then we arrived and stole it, and how'd you say, everybody went nuts, and we went to court. Oh well. So we got everything laid out. Here we got the chains, we got the new roller link. Everything is done. Let's go into the shop. Now we can start on these other items. We'll tarp this table overnight because knowing my luck, it'll rain. But the main thing is we're cleaning stuff out. In the background, you can hear the mini power source plus Jack. He seems to show up at coffee time knowing there's treats and stuff in the dog's pens that they have not eaten. So there's proof for the pudding for the boss. All right. Turn the lights on in the shop. These are not anything fancy lights or anything. So I've just now bumped it up to 1100 watts of usage, okay? If the alternator was bigger on the mini power source, we could leave these lights on all the time, but we just turn them on when we need it. Oh yes, for filming purposes. Oh yes, remove the sunglasses. Oh look, it's bright in here. All right, so we had a little work bee. We're using this light here. It's actually the night light for the dogs because that lights up the camera. So if we have a puppy or whatever, a newborn or a new arrival, we can watch what's going on in the shop as they destroy everything. All right, so over here, we keep the roller links because we can reuse, repurpose, and one more time. So that's why we cut the roller link, because we knew we could replace it. So each chain came on the workbench. I was Hercules, and we took out the one link. Took out the torched one here. And we have a new joiner link, so Rodney sent that up. So there's the new ones, the new cotter pins, everything for reassemble. we do a double check to make sure. So here's the tools of choice. The, how would you say, chisels to spread them apart, to get them apart, because it's, how would you say, well, it's a 1953, and I probably only had the chains out probably a couple of times in its lifetime to, how would you say, service the wheels or the axle seals or whatever. So I doubt they were removed, but they're in good shape, so we have no problems. All right, so let's get this out on the deck or out on that table and get one of those other items brought in so we can keep working. We'll have to turn off the main lights and just have a little light to keep us working, and it's not too bad in here for temperature wise. Oh, let's look at the thermometer. See, it's about 75 degrees in here, so it's not bad, but the humidity, my t-shirt sticking to my body, oh, the ladies will be impressed.
5 p.m. and I'm just getting ready to make supper. I've been sorting berries most of the day. I don't have very many left to sort out. My freezer is pretty full. Then tomorrow I can go out and get some more. Hopefully I can get a few more loads of blueberries before they all die off. Now let's head inside, make supper, and end my day.
Okay, just about 7 o'clock in the kingdom, and we worked late because it's hot and we were hiding in the shop. We still left the mini power source running. We had the light on. We're out of air in the air tank. We can't blow anymore. Yes. Okay, so we got the chains done. We got all these buffed up, and everything is clean, never seized. Even these plates got buffed. We even found the bolts, buffed them up, never seized them. And also too, this is the middle one, because we had these all apart. We found out that this being thick, somebody had it in the middle, and there's no clearance because the sprockets are right close. So this one here is the middle because it's thinner, notched out. It has shorter bolts, so that's the middle one. So that's one of the joys of taking things apart. We're learning. I had no idea why the 20mm wrench fits on here. The 13/16 is too loose. The 3/4 don't fit. So I wrote on that. So I don't know what size it was in imperial measurements. We have a flat washer in here because we'll be gasket going underneath to give it a sealant. Yes. And this one here got buffed up because it was all gouged and looking bad. So we're very pleased. So we're getting everything done. So 6 hours basically to do the cleaning, and then tomorrow we flush that out. But the only problem is, here's the drain plugs. We found one, and there's the copper washers that I'd ordered and set aside. I think they're a little large. Yes, minor detail. These might be the copper washers for where you put the oil in, not drain it out. So we'll have to figure this out tomorrow, or figure something out. I don't know what to do. Plus we got to find the other drain plug. I don't know what happened. Geez, we emptied the shop, and when we got evacuated, the fire was right here. All right, let's spend a few minutes closing everything up, and then we can walk the dogs. Yes, they're getting all excited because we worked late. Okay, we're done for the day. Look at that. I'm waving at myself. Oh my, I better take my medication. Oh wait, I can't. All right, so there we got the grader. We're back working on it. Lots to do, and parts are coming. There was no sense in doing it unless we knew the parts were coming, because now we get it apart. The parts will be arriving, in theory. All right, I covered the table with all the parts, and the flags are enjoying themselves over there. All right, so the welder's ready to go so I can cook some supper. Yes, we got it opened up so it doesn't overheat. And over here we have some nice skies. Yes, some flags over there going. And these flags here don't seem to have any wind. Oh well. All right, let's go walk the dogs, make a video, and we'll talk to you later.